That's a chance of finding something. Now, why do companies play the exploration game? Well, the whole point of being successful is you've got to have multiple throws of the dice, okay? There's no use just throwing the dice once, okay? So the big companies will have a drilling program that gives them multiple tries with the dice, okay? It would be like running into Las Vegas to the casino, putting all your money down on one bet on the roulette table and seeing if you win a furlong and walking out again, okay? Most people who do that come out broke, all right? What the cleverer gambler does is he plays the odds on lots of tables and lots of games. So he tries to minimize his risk and his losses to make sure that the winnings will actually balance it out. The other branch I wanted to point out there, if we'd gone back to the numbers, this is the top numbers, that 263, 381, 558, which this company might have reported for the total volume of oil and gas it could find, which was the sum of all those numbers, why would that be wrong? Well, all it's telling me is what you might find if all wells were successful. Okay? It's just applicable to the very, very top branch of that tree. What's the chance of that occurring? Well, it's 0.01 of a percent, 100th of a percent chance of working. Okay? So that was a big number, but I bet you didn't tell you what the chance of that occurring was. Okay? What about all the other branches? There are 15 branches of that tree, 15 outcomes which are successful to some degree or another. What I'd like to know is the true sort of outcome of my drilling program. Is everything from one success through to all successes. So if I look at that range of outcomes and do the statistics on that, it's telling me that actually what I might expect to find if I drilled all 4 wells is somewhere between 51 and 204. But when I quote that, I can say there's a 34% chance of being between 51 and 204. So that's a much more meaningful set of data. Okay? The more wells I drill, the more that chance of success will be. It'll never be 100%, can never be 100%. It'll get as asymptotic as it can get, but it'll never get to 100%. Okay? So that's why a lot of companies, and I've noticed now a lot of companies, certainly in the ones we work with in the UK, that have a habit of just adding up every single bump and prospect they've got in their books, quoting ridiculous volumes. In some cases, we worked on people who are in a new basin, I'll not mention the company or the basin, where the potential was like another Saudi Arabia, okay? It just was madness to quote that number, okay? It's just not going to happen. Now, I can't believe investors fall for it, but some people do, okay? So that's just an example of those diagrams we can draw out of that 4-well drilling program. There you can see my 51, 98, 104. I put the red line on just to show you, and I said, well, the red line's useful because it immediately tells me what? The chance of making it one discovery, at least one discovery. It's 34.4. I can read it off the graph. That's why we plot those. I don't have to do that mathematical calculation, which I can do with a calculator. If I wanted to, I could, the simulation will tell me that it automatically. So there's numbers. Okay? So we might report, if we were reporting it, this is how we would report it. So there's the 4 prospects with their volumes. We put along the bottom there the outcome of the simulation, and we put in the 34% number. Now, unfortunately, I still get the lawyers and the accountants say, well, your table doesn't add up, okay? We quite sometimes put in a second column, which is the sum of everything, but then we caveat that with a little line that says, total assuming every well is successful. Then we put in chance of success, we put too small to measure. So you can have it on the table, but most people, when they see that, they say, well, can you take it off again? Because we don't want to put that message out. Actually, that's not worth anything to the investor. If you tell them a big number and tell them it won't happen.